money that way, a day labor pool. If there's temp agencies that are hiring. Also, I said do a side hustle. I see people delivering food. A woman delivered banana pudding to me the other day to make some money. There's another guy. He delivers food from different small restaurants in the black community. So I say, don't just be like, woe is me, like what I did in the Great Recession. I decided after a year of that, like, hey, let me pick myself up, So there's people that style hair. You could still you could teach people how to do hair. So even though you shouldn't be touching people now, you could do webinars and tutorials showing people how to do hair, showing people how to cut hair. There's just so many different things you can do. For me, it was getting my insurance license. That's what was revolutionary for me. I always felt insurance dumb. I never understood insurance. But when it came time I had to feed my family, I'm like, you know what? $70,000 a year sounds good. I think I'm going to get my license and figure it out. And it wasn't easy, but I worked my butt off, and I eventually got to where I was making over $100,000 a year. And now I have residual income where I hardly work now. And then also my book talks about cutting back your bills. A lot of people are talking about, and I'm sorry to run on. You told me to tell you about the book.
No, that's good.
But a lot of people are on social media talking about deferring their bills and all that. But what you have to understand is a lot of times when you defer the bills, you're setting yourself up for a lot of stress months down the line. Because if you defer your bill, like, I can't pay my electric bill for a couple of months. I can't make my car payments for a couple of months. Well, guess what? You run the risk of, now you owe 2-3 months. 2 months down the line, now you owe those 2 months you didn't pay plus the current bill. And then you're constantly playing catch up. Then there's also the deferment where they put it to the end of the loan, which would be the car. But they're not going to do that with utilities. You're going to just owe all that money in 2-3 months. But your car, they can put that to the end of the loan. But guess what? That means that it's going to take longer for you to, say, pay off the car because they put it at the end of the loan and the interest did not stop accruing. So just understand that when the bank lets you defer, the credit card company lets you defer, the student loan company lets you defer, the finance charges are still accruing. No, you're not getting late fees. No, it's not reporting late to the credit agencies, but the finance charges, the interest is still accruing, which means more money. But in the short term, it does help if you just absolutely cannot pay your bills. But if you have the money to pay your bills, you better pay those bills. So that's basically what my book talks about, how to defer your bills, slash your bills, cut down to the bare necessities, how to get some money in your pocket right now, how to take control of your income, different ways you can take control of your income to make 5 to 7 figures a year, and how you can't keep participating in every recession. Like my family is not participating in this recession. Our life is going to continue to go on the way it was before the recession. And so that's why it's how to survive and thrive in a recession. And it's on Amazon, How to Survive and Thrive in a Recession. And by the way, I'm Miss Money Sense. So I do financial education webinars and workshops because this truly is my passion because I was a teen mom. And I ended up going to college and being an award-winning writer, sports writer. And I was check in my 20s. And I found out there would be no pension for me if I gave the newspaper my life. There would be no pension, and Social Security would be bankrupt by the time I retire. So I'm dedicating the next 10 years of my life to educate as many people as possible. Take control of your income. Don't depend on the government and Social Security to take care of you. And my website is missmoney.com.
Yeah, but that actually, I want you to stay on the line like I've been telling everybody to do, but that actually brings me 2 points. One, I want to hear from Dr. Davis because Dr. Davis, I know that in the conversation with Sree, he talked about the fact that more and more people, this is the time for people to pick up that hobby that they never thought that they would have time to pick up and actually develop these hobbies and develop these skill sets because you might, as somebody said, be able to learn a webinar skill or learning different other skills. And I know that was one of the things that he talked about, and I wanted to hear what you thought about that from a positivity standpoint. And then I'd like to hear from Trevi as well, following what you have to say, Dr. Davis, because Trevi herself is an author, having written several books and actually self-published. So y'all may have some commonalities in terms of what she did. And she actually published her book several years ago, but she's still, like I said, a professor as well as an author and involved in the whole writing landscape as well. But I want to hear from Dr. Davis, then I want to hear from Trevi.
So we do have lots of opportunities to learn new skills and develop new skills, and as was mentioned, it might be a path into a side hustle and a little bit of additional security. One of the things that we can do is start taking on projects and challenges are one of the things that really motivate us and move us. And so when we find challenges that are interesting to us or things that we might want to try, this gives us an opportunity to expand ourselves, to develop our mastery skills, and also mastery experiences, so that we can feel greater levels of confidence. We can feel like we're growing. We can feel like we're developing. And as we move in these positive trajectories, we actually feel better. We enjoy life a lot more. We appreciate ourselves, and we get to see aspects of ourselves that might have otherwise been hidden. And so this is really a time to build our fortunes in that sense, and I mean that in a lot of different ways. As to the rich life that we can have, a rich inner life, a rich experiential life, and many, many, many different opportunities for us. And as we explore these hobbies, we become enriched by that, and we grow from that, and we become more interesting people, both to ourselves and to the people around us. So we have something that we can share.
Definitely, and I appreciate you sharing that and everything. Trevi, if you would share a little bit about your own background.
Sure. To piggyback on that, it all comes down to a haiku I wrote several years ago called Commit. Commit to your dream, and the desired resources are provided now. So this is an opportune time for whatever dream you have to begin exploring that and begin working on that. In 1995, I found myself armed with a PhD at age 25 and unemployed. And I asked myself, what could I do right now to make myself more marketable? So during that time, 3 book projects were born. I knew that I wanted to be a college professor. I knew that I needed to publish some scholarly works, and 2 of those books were scholarly. And then kind of in the midst of it all, during my job search, I decided to write a novel about the power of friendship in the lives of 3 women who were going to their 10-year high school reunion. It's titled Time Will Tell. So I wrote the novel, and a friend of mine convinced me that we could start our own company. She had an MBA. I had the doctorate in communication, and that we could start our own company and publish the books ourselves. So I was relying very heavily on her MBA. I completed the book, and I ended up having to step out on faith myself back in 1999 and start Rayomi Publishing to publish my book. But seriously, once I committed to that dream and made that firm decision that I was going to start the company and publish the book, people literally came out of the woodworks to help me do the things that I did not know how to do myself. And within a week, I had everything I needed to send the book to press, which was a much different process in 1999 than it is today, because everything is digital.
So, Calvin, it sounds like she was doing what you were trying to do with this whole concept of 2 minds are better than one some 20 years ago.
Okay. It's W. Calvin Anderson, and it's called 2 Heads Are Better 2020.com. And basically it's a platform. I'm originally from New Rochelle, so the ground zero reality set in, and I've been a go-to person for people in New Rochelle all of my life. I ended up, this is a network, basically. So for public information, we need the kind of public information exhibited on this show by Dr. Parker. Thank you. We need the type of information from Dr. Davis in terms of mental health and the rest of it. We need the leisure novels by the other people that were speaking, and the economic information in terms of fortitude to see past this. what actually happened with twoheadsarebetter2020.com is I ended up collaborating with a home brother by the name of Joe Barnes, and he has something called Proforma.com Vision Graphics. He can supply the N19 mask. He can supply the supply chain type of products to even send school supplies into the homes while we're doing distance learning. But the top of the bill is sound public information in terms of the networking so that we can be intelligent. The second part of it is satisfying the needs, and another person spoke to that in terms of, and then before we freeze in our fear of this pandemic, we have to realize that we are a resource. We are giants in our own. Some people have a truck. Someone said somebody can do hair virtually. We have to realize our talent so that we have to reorganize ourselves, reinvent our networks, and that's the only way that we're going to survive. We grew up with the mentality that each one teach one, and two heads are better, and the number 2, heads with an S, R as in the alphabet, better2020.com is a new platform, W. Calvin Anderson, and you are exhibiting the type of network that we need in your various disciplines, and I applaud you. And thank you, Dean and Mark, for this opportunity.
No problem at all. Dean, if you could, slide down on our audio clips. There's a very long clip, and I'm not going to play all of it, but you should see something that says Jack Napier, and I definitely want Jack to give us his website and how we can find out what he's doing. But I want to hear at least a few minutes of his stand-up routine, and this is a clip that he sent me from a performance pre-corona time and everything. So if you'll just slide down there, and it should say Jack Napier, and like I said, we'll probably cut it off after about maybe a minute or two.
All right, here it is.
Sure.
Hey. What's up, ladies? I know what y'all thinking. It probably takes longer to get ready than I do. And you be right. This shit don't come natural. Like Christy said, I am a local celebrity in Daytona Beach. Thank you. Thanks, yeah. Some of you may not recognize me, but in Daytona, man, it's rough. I can't walk down the street without people honking their horns at me. I mean, they'll roll down their car windows and lean out and just scream, "Hey! Get out of the road, you junkie!" And I'm like, dude, it's a cocaine deficiency. It's medical. Get off my back. Man. What is it, Saturday today, right? No. Oh. Yeah. You guys have a good day off, everybody? Yeah. I had a horrible day at work, and I don't even have a job. I made that horrible mistake of going to Target wearing a red shirt and khaki pants. God damn it, I was there for hours. Just answering questions, like, razor blades are in aisle 3, too. Man, I even got yelled at by the manager for smoking by the front door. I'm like, dude, I don't even work here. He's like, none of us do. But stop making it so obvious, you know? That's cool, bro. Man. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not actually from Daytona, though. I will admit that. I'm from New Jersey. Is there any Jersey people in there tonight? Pennsylvania. Did I ask if anybody here was from Pennsylvania? This is your Jersey adjacent. Anyway. Oh my God. I don't know. I think Jersey's like we feel about Pennsylvania how New York feels about Jersey. Get all nuts, PA. God. Yeah, I'm from New Jersey. I made the mistake of coming to Daytona for a bike week about 5 years ago. I ran out of money. Just stranded there. Like, screw it, I guess I just live here now, right?
That happens to some
Did it?
No, it happens to so many people.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, you see a lot of homeless people. We all talk about it. We have a group that meets every Friday. You should go. There's a lot of quality men. Well, I've been in Daytona for years now, guys, and I'm like, I realize that Daytona Beach